Hey guys, it's Electro and welcome back to another video on the channel. Yes guys, I'm officially back now and today we're going to be going over the top 5 tips and tricks inside Onward that you can use. Also, 99.8% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you don't subscribe then I will actually come into your house and steal your nan. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the tips and tricks. So the first tip you'll need is communications. Essentially communicating everything you see on the battlefield. This could be like telling if an enemy's changed position, or this could be communicating where an ammo drop is. Whatever it is, you need to be communicating with your team all the time. This is why this game is all about teamwork. Communication is key on the battlefield as it gives a severe advantage against your opponents. If someone comes in on the radio saying where an enemy's position is, it gives you a chance and everyone in your team a chance to convert on that position. Trust me lads, just do it, it's very good. And hey, if you have social anxiety and you don't like talking to people, just remember if you're from the UK, you're going up against 9-year-olds from the US. They're squeakers. So yeah, that's the first tip. Communicate everything you get on the battlefield so that you have the massive advantage over your opponents. Right, so the second tip I've got for you guys is quick reloading. So really, all you need to do is go into free roam and start practicing your reloading. Keep constantly doing it, and then eventually you'll get so good at it that even if you're under pressure in a high pressure moment, obviously, then you'll be able to reload as quick as possible and start firing on the enemies again. Really, quick reloading is very good. And hey, you'll have an advantage if you come from another shooter of it. And hey, you'll have another advantage if you come from a very quick firing FPS game, something like Pavlov, because you already know how to reload in that. So all you need to do is have really quick reloading, and here you go. You'll be ready to go out on the battlefield. A quick tip, some guns don't use the B button, if you get me. So you don't press B and then it stops. Quick tip, some guns don't use the B button to eject the mag. Sometimes you have to pull it out manually, so just remember that. Some of these guns are like, I think it's the AK-12 on the Wolf team, the terrorist team. So yeah, just keep that in mind while you're playing. Right, and the third tip I've got guys is cover all the time. Essentially every time you play this game, if you're moving from position to position, especially in games like Uplink where you get one life, you should be using every cover you can. Walls, cars, everything, and little roadblock things that you can see on screen now. Everything. Just use it all as cover and you will be fine. Remember to duck and cover. A little bit of an extra tip here guys, if you're coming out of one of them like roadblock things and you're going to peek above cover, point your gun sideways as that will expose less of yourself. So essentially when you come out of cover, if you get one of them like right angled scopes, you can turn it around and then you can aim through that. It makes aiming a little bit harder, but it will expose you a lot less, making you a less easy target to hit, but you can still fire back. So that's really all I have to say about covering. Just make sure you're not exposing yourself fully, and make sure you're peeking at the right times. Obviously, don't peek when someone's shooting at you, unless you want to fire back. You can also blind fire, where you just point your gun up instead of your head as well, and just spray and hope you hit something. This is a good tactic if you're not looking to expose yourself, but there is a little chance you'll hit something, unless you know someone's like literally stood where you're blind firing, which half the time you won't. Okay, so for tip 4 we're going to be talking about the iPad. So essentially the iPad on the back, the lower back of your section, if you grab there and you pull the grip button on your controller and go back to where you're facing, you'll pull out your iPad. So there are some main points on the iPad I want to talk about. These being the actual map itself, the buttons to the left, and the coordinates on the top. Okay, so let's go over the map first. It's pretty simple. The map tells you what location you are, but it also shows you like a bird's eye view of what everything is around you. So if you see buildings and that, it will show you that. It will also show you where ammo crates or storage crates, whatever you want to call, are in the map. So the specific locations that drop ammo, they drop grenades, they drop smoke bombs, they drop all type of stuff. So yeah, moving on to the coordinates now, let's go over the coordinates. So the coordinates basically tell you, well, which direction you're heading in. They're also great for telling people where you spot enemies at, or anything, but you've got your watch on your wrist for that. Now finally, let's go over the buttons. The buttons can be used to activate a drone or go into the drone menu. So if you see a drone button, press on that, it'll say launch drone if you haven't launched it already. If you press on that, then you'll be ready. The other button will be for an uplink. Now if you're playing the game mode uplink, your iPad will be essential. It will say code, and if you press on that, it will show a little code, well obviously. Once you press on that, it will show you, well, a code, and then if you press on the uplink button, you'll have to be able to type in that code next to some sort of satellite, and that's how you win uplink. So essentially, yeah, that's what the tablet does. And the final tip I have for you guys is aiming. Now, aiming in this game, especially for new players, can be extremely difficult. So let me give you a word of advice. If you have a scope on your gun, use it, obviously. But if you want to get a bit more precise, I normally use the side of my gun. Now, the side of my gun allows for me to spray a lot easier. And by spraying, I mean turning around and, just completely mowing down someone. Now, when you're side aiming, it's a bit more precise in my opinion, because you can actually see where the bullets are going. But if you want to use your scope, you can. I use side aiming because I just feel better with it. I've used it in Pavlov and everything. But yeah, a quick tip for aiming: recoil in this game exists, and it's a massive problem. So just be smart, lads, please, because don't try and shoot your buddy submachine gun one-handed, because it's not going to work, lads. It's not population one. It's not if you shoot one-handed, it's just going to stay there. There is massive recoil in this game. Also, a cool fact, if you want to know, recoil patterns normally tend to go up, where in Pavlov, it goes like wild in circles. Onward, things go up, so if you shoot at someone's feet, you might be able to kill them one-handed like that. So yeah, actually, that's a fun tip. But anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. That would be epic. It's been Billy, and I will see you in the next one.